coming in and basically having one per school. I was a principal of a school in 1988, and the only computer was our attendance director. I can remember when we started doing attendance over the computer because the state wanted that information. And so it was interesting to see how computers have come into the schools and how they've become so important. So being at Medina Middle School the last 2 years, which our system is a very progressive system with technology over the last 5 years, and that's a result of Mr. Galloway and Mr. Tucker and the school board having this progressive attitude. So as we were looking at last year in a principals meeting as a way to how do we continue our education with our teachers, and the key thing is we do a lot of reading in our system, our principals do, and one of the things that we try to look at is how can we get that into our teachers' hands. And so one of the things that I looked at, and you know, I think in one of our principals meetings they talked about, hey, let's do a blog. And I'm sitting there, okay, now how do we do this? And so I looked at it and I started playing with it, and lo and behold, you know, I created Steve's blog. And so I introduced it to my teachers, and one of the things I said, hey, give me some feedback. And we read this lesson, we read this book by Robin Jackson. This is, you know, how to not work harder than your students. And so during the summer I was here, or I'd be at home, and one time I was at the beach, and I would go in and I'd go into my computer and I'd put in a little something, and lo and behold, you know, I had some responses. And so two things. Number one, I felt like we really increased the opportunity for our teachers to gain some knowledge about teaching, how to do things better. And number two, boy, I think it was a bonding thing. Because in this, I would go in and I'd say, you know, I've seen Deborah Allen do this in 5th grade social studies about how to use the students in interaction. Or I've used Monica Horner as an example, who, you know, all of our great teachers that we've got at Medina Middle School. And so I would use them as examples, and then, you know, here comes some feedback from some other teachers and things. And it was just one of the neatest things that we did. And we've done a little bit since school started, but we really haven't carried on because guess what? I think everybody is just so focused on school. But we're going to do Steve's blog again this summer. I've already found the book by Marzano, and man, it's got so much stuff that I think is some good feedback. But, you know, I hope all of you, not through any information from me, because I know that I'm not one much to introduce this, but Eddie Pruitt and Lynn Tucker, I guess, you know, really have a real good handle on this. I'm just a good example of someone that looked into a situation to find a way to communicate with my teachers and to find a way for them to gain some knowledge and use some feedback with it. And it was very exciting for me. It's been a great opportunity. I go back to about technology, and I can remember being a principal in 1988, and a parent came in and he said, Mr. Malone, I've got something for you that's really great. And he brought in this Mac computer. And he came in and I said, wow, this is so neat. He said, well, I've outgrown it. I won't give it to y'all and look at it. And I said, boy, this is great. And so he put that Mac computer on my desk, and I plugged it in, and I thought, what do I do with it? You know, what does it do? I said, you know, I started doing some things, and it was just like this person that had this foreign product in front of them, and it sat there for a long time, and finally I got this fellow. I said, what does this do? What can I do with it? And he goes, and he just laughed. He goes, Malone, you're in for an experience because you're entering into another age. And so that was my first experience with a computer, when someone just came in and put that Mac computer in front of me. I hope all of you have a great experience with this. You have two really good sources with Lynn Tucker and Eddie Pruitt in the blogging, but it was just a great experience for us here at Medina Middle School, and I hope that you all have a good opportunity to do that. Again, thank you for letting me share my experiences with it, and hope you have a great school year the rest of this year. Thank you.